Today we are discussing the dangers of New Age spirituality, and this is something that we need to discuss because I'm seeing a lot of people who are new to Hyperianism getting confused and conflating some elements of it with New Age spirituality, and I have to tell you that Hyperianism is the furthest thing from that. It is the opposite of that, and I want to really dive into the details here because this is a topic that I am seeing people are not really understanding why New Age spirituality is dangerous. And this is very important because as, Hyperians, we are against mainstream religion. And as I'm going to be showing you here, New Ageism is just another new dangerous mainstream religion. And the problem with this is that it limits your power and it keeps the world enslaved. And it blocks your evolution by literally abolishing truth. So we need to really take a look at this and see how it can even lead you to insanity because of a total lack of being able to use logic and reason. And that it limits your power by abolishing truth, and that it keeps the world enslaved by propagating this idea of love everyone, love and light. This whole, I'm sure you guys have heard love and light. People say this constantly. And this is an issue because if we extend unlimited tolerance, then that includes intolerance. And what this means is the world will be destroyed by not those who do evil, but by those who watch evil and do nothing about it. So we need to really dive into this and take a look at all the details here and see how it's very limiting to you and your evolution and to the world as a whole. And Hyperianism, what we are about is creating a new humanity and a new earth. And New Age spirituality, like mainstream religion, like Christianity and other mainstream religions, it is a roadblock to that, to our collective evolution and to your personal evolution, because enlightenment is all about finding truth. But as we're going to see, New Age spirituality, it does the exact opposite and literally abolishes truth. So we have a lot to talk about, my friends. I'm really excited to get into it because this is a topic that I am seeing people are very confused by. So I want to clear things up right here and right now. What I really want to get across here with regard to the dangers of New Age spirituality is it's important to realize that New Ageism is just another form of a dangerous mainstream religion, and it is not based on logic and reason. And reason is the supreme code on which the world is written. And to deny reason is to deny the essence of reality. So the issue really here becomes is that New Ageism is predicated on intuition and not reason. And you might think, well, isn't intuition great? And yes, of course it is. But logic and reason must be the pinnacle of thought because everything has a place. And reason is what pulled us out of animalistic instinctual awareness and bicameralism and into self-awareness. Reason is what allowed humanity to evolve into what we are. Reason is what separates us from the animals, and continuing to develop and implement our reason is what will propel us into godhood. So intuition is important. It's incredibly important, but reason is the guiding function. And so any system that is a system of truth needs to place logic and reason above all else. So if you think of intuition, intuition is sort of like raw power. And reason is sort of the thing that guides and directs. And if you get rid of reason and just have just sort of this unfiltered raw power coming at you, you're going to lose your mind. And the reason why I say that, and I mean this in a very literal way, you're going to start believing in crazy ideas like pan-dimensional shape-shifting reptiles that have infiltrated the government and 5D and all this crazy things that I see coming from New Age spirituality, Again, you have to see that it's just another mainstream religion in another guise, starting believing in, instead of praying to God and believing God will take care of you. Now you're having belief that the universe will guide your life, and you're calling on your angel ancestors to protect you from the reptilian overlords, and you go crazy. And the reason why this is because, look, when you are just about intuition and that's it, you have no filter, you have no guiding function, and you can't tell fact from fiction. You can't tell symbol from truth. You can't tell reality from non-reality. And what it's like is it's like being in a dream. Now, dreams are really important. Dreams are powerful. Dreams give you an untapped access to your unconscious mind. And that's powerful. But guess what? Dreams are very chaotic and they're very symbolic. So when you're guided only by intuition, that would be sort of like if you just were guided by your dreams and you took everything in your dreams to be true. Well, no, there's a lot you can learn from your dreams, but you need to reflect on them, use your conscious reason to interpret them, order them, see what the hidden meaning is, and implement, pieces of it in your life. You're not just going to take it to be true. If you have a dream about, a friend of yours punches you or something, you're not going to go to your friend and be like, well, you're an asshole. No, you have to realize, things are symbolic. That's maybe an anger issue or something that you have in your unconscious or something like that. So when you are just purely guided by your intuition, it's very similar to that very dream-like state, right? Where you aren't filtering, ordering, and reflecting and rationalizing anymore. You're just taking in this raw data, and your intuition communicates through symbols and metaphors and things like this. Your dreams, communicates through your dreams rather, through symbol and metaphor and things like this. So you wouldn't want to be taking it literal. So in an analogous way, when you are just unfiltered intuition, you start to go to crazy ideas, and you can look at people like David Icke. David Icke is a good example because, you get some things right. Like reality is frequency. We're all one. These are more or less good ideas. New Agers don't understand them correctly, but they're more or less good ideas. But then with all that, now you have pan-dimensional, shape-shifting reptiles and, these insane conspiracy theories and 5D and angel ancestors and, just a plethora of all this other baggage that comes with it. And the main thing that I really want people to understand here is that New Ageism is the opposite of truth, okay? So New Ageism posits this idea of subjectivism and relativism. Now, subjectivism and relativism means that truth is subjective. It's all relative. Like, everyone has their own personal truth. Have you ever heard that before? A lot of New Agers will say this, like, just speak your truth. That's your truth, and I have my truth. This is relativism and subjectivism. Truth isn't relative, and it's not subjective. Truth is objective. That's what truth is. If truth were subjective, that's not truth anymore. That's anti-truth. That's the opposite of truth. Truth is true for all people at all times, and it doesn't matter what you believe about it, it just is. For example, 2 + 2 = 4 is an example of an eternal objective truth. It's true for me, it's true for you, it's true across the universe, it's true 1,000,000 years ago, it's true 1,000,000,000 years from now. It will always be true, it's true for everyone at all times. 2 + 2 = 4. It doesn't matter what you believe, it doesn't matter if you deny it, it's still true. It doesn't matter if you pray to try and change it or meditate all day, it doesn't matter. It's always going to be true. However, this is the opposite of New Age relativism and subjectivism, where it's just like, all truth is relative. There is no objective truth. It's just, all roads up the mountain lead to the same path. No. See, this is a very dangerous idea, and it is literally the opposite of truth. It is abolishing truth. It is the destroyer of truth. And it's important to remember that we are all about truth. And the point of apotheosis is aligning ourselves more and more with the truth of reality. And so when you get, people who go, oh, well, that's your truth. Or, no. There's no such thing as your truth and my truth. There is just truth. Philosophy. Philosophy is formed, this word philosophy was coined by Pythagoras from the words philos sophia. Philos sophia, philosophy. Philos means love. Sophia means wisdom. Philosophy is the love of wisdom. It's the love of truth. And New Ageism is the hatred of knowledge, right? Philosophy is the love of knowledge, the love of wisdom, the love of truth. And New Ageism is the hatred of knowledge, the hatred of truth. It tries to say everyone has their own truths. And this idea is sort of what's known as eclecticism. And eclecticism is this idea of just, you just sort of, you pick and choose. If this feels good to you, believe it. Pick and choose from all the different religions of the world and all the different systems of the world. Just pick and choose what feels right to you. Now, do you see how now you're being guided by intuition and emotions, not logic and reason? Oh, it just feels right. Truth doesn't care how you feel, or truth doesn't. Look at all those who are into mainstream religion. Look how people pick and choose Bible verses. Look at how people, pick and choose what is right and what is wrong. This is where all the problems in the world stem from, okay? And what I'm really trying to get across here is that New Ageism is a big trap. It's a big trap because they get a few things here and there right. Again, like, reality is frequency, and that, perhaps we're gods and goddesses and things like that. But it carries with it all the traps of mainstream religion. And this is why it is so dangerous, because people are starting to wake up to the fact that mainstream religion is BS. They're starting to. But then they go into the trap of New Ageism, which is just a whole new trap. It's just a whole new trap. So don't leave one BS system to go into another. And so the important thing to realize is that we must be guided by logic and reason, and that truth is not subjective. Truth is not relative. Truth is eternal and objective. If you start saying that truth is relative and subjective, you're not even talking about truth anymore. You're talking about opinions and beliefs, which is not truth and knowledge. So we have to really understand that New Ageism is marked and marred by subjectivism and relativism. This idea, if something feels true to you, then it's true. If it feels right to you, then it's right. If something feels real to you, it's real. No, I'm sorry, but that's the complete and total opposite of truth. And do you see how now you're wrapped up in a web of illusions by your own creation? You have created illusions for yourself. And the way to evolve, the way to raise your consciousness, is to understand truth more and more, better and better. So, again, this whole idea of 5D, pan-dimensional lizards, everyone having their own truth, you get wrapped up in crazy ideas. And like I keep getting people who go, what's going to happen on December 21st? What's going to happen on December 21st? The planets are aligning and whatnot. Well, guess what's going to happen on December 21st? Nothing. Nothing's going to happen on December 21st. The planets are lining up. It's okay. Nothing's going to happen. Now you can impart symbolic significance to this. Now that's amazing. If you want to do a symbolic ritual and impart meaning to the planet's alignments or new moons or things like that, that's great. But there's nothing we're not going to be visited by aliens on December 21st or things like this. Like, look, we have I think there's a certain Christian pastor that's saying, the end of the world is going to happen on December 21st. But do you see how, right? Like do you see how it's just another dangerous mainstream religion? Whether you're a Christian pastor saying it's the end of the world, or you're a New Age guru meditating saying, aliens are going to visit us on this day or something. It's the same thing. It's just another. It's more BS, guys. Is what I'm saying. It's more bull that needs to be thrown out. Because it's a stumbling block to the world, and it's a stumbling block to you. You are literally limiting your consciousness, limiting your power. and limiting your evolution if you believe in these BS systems. And now, one thing that I do want to say, if you are having trouble discerning what is true and what isn't, don't worry, don't feel bad. I know it can be difficult at first, right? Especially if this is new to you. So I'm not berating you guys or anyone who's watching this. I'm not berating you. I'm just showing you that this is something that needs to be worked on. And if you are new to this, don't worry. Like, this is what we're all about. We're here to teach people how to use logic and reason. So, if you're having trouble, discerning, well, how do you know what is true? How do you know what isn't? Don't worry. Like, that's what we are here to do, is to teach how to properly use logic and reason to filter and think clearly, critically, and in the most optimal way possible, so that you can be a true free thinker and not be trapped by these limiting ideas. So, again, if you're having trouble, don't feel bad. That's how we're here. We're here to help humanity step into the next level. But it's important to realize these very important points. So here is an important question. So she says, can you combine logic and reason and intuition? And this is something I want to clarify, because absolutely, yes. Now, here's the point. We have the senses, we have emotions, we have intuition, and we have reason. Now, when we put a huge emphasis on reason, and we show that reason is the pinnacle of thought. Now, when we say that reason is the most important, we're not saying to get rid of the others. We're just saying each one has its place. For example, in a car, there are many different parts of a car. There's the steering wheel, there's the wheels, there's the gasoline. But each one has its place and a proper function. If you use one incorrectly and for the wrong purpose, it's going to get out of control. So, for example, the senses are very important for navigating the holos. You need your senses to be able to navigate the physical world, to have interactions, to pick up a glass, all these different things. The senses are very important. So when we say you must be guided by logic and reason, obviously doesn't mean we want to get rid of the senses. It means the senses do not reveal truth. Because do they? No. Anyone who's seen a magic show knows that the senses don't reveal truth. Anyone, who realized that we can see, only a tiny fraction of the electromagnetic spectrum realizes that the senses don't reveal truth. The senses are flawed. They're important, but they're not revealers of truth. Intuition, likewise. Intuition is extremely important. Intuition is extremely important. But the thing to realize is that we need to be tapped into our intuition, but guided by logic and reason. Okay, you can imagine intuition as being this sort of vast energy reserve. And if you just let it all flow in, you're going to short circuit. You're going to go crazy. You're not going to know up from down. You need to have logic and reason to guide it. Just like when you have a dream. When you're having a dream, you are tapped into your unconscious mind. But to be able to make any sense of it when you wake up, then you need to reflect on it using logic and reason to decode the metaphor, to see how best you can learn from this sort of thing, and things like this. So basically what happens is with your intuition, yes, you want to be tapped into your intuition, but everything that you intuit doesn't mean it's true at face value. So what you have to do is when you get intuition, when you learn how to properly use logic and reason, is then you must examine your intuitive content with logic and reason to see what's true and what isn't. For example, if you have the intuition that reality is composed of frequency, well, you can use logic and reason to weigh that and see if it's true, right? But then if you get if you have all these crazy ideas like angel ancestors and angel numbers, and people are going to start microchipping you and with your whatever, right? Like whatever it is, then you can use logic and reason to start filtering out and go like, oh, maybe angel ancestors aren't communicating with me through my cell phone or whatever it is. You have to be able to use and be guided by logic and reason. Intuition is powerful, but you always must be guided by logic and reason. I cannot emphasize this enough. So not only is New Ageism marred by this idea of truth being relative and subjective, terrible, terrible ideas. Truth is objective. That's the very nature of truth. But it's also marred by the idea of love and light. And this is critical to understand, that this is a huge block to the world. And the reason why this is a huge block is because, look, the rich elite control this world. And they want nothing more than to peddle this idea of loving everyone. And I want to emphasize that this will get you walked all over. This will get you, it's like if you're in an abusive relationship and you're just like, oh, well, I just love this person. I don't care. I'm going to look past this. No, that's a sick mindset. You need to get yourself out of that situation. And people will use you as a doormat if you're just about all love and light. And so we must tap into our righteous fury, our divine anger at being treated like doormats by the rich billionaire class. And that is when we tap into our shadow, right? We are not of the love and the light. We are both light and dark. We are the star and the abyss, the sun and the eclipse. We are light and shadow. We are Abraxas. We are beyond good and evil. And we have the power to tap into that vast reservoir for world change. And it's important, critical to realize that love will not change the world. Love is what we get when we change the world. And this is just a rehash of the mindset of Christianity of turn the other cheek. Jesus taught that if you're struck on your cheek, just turn the other so you can be struck again. And this mentality is peddled by the controllers of this world. And this is why, another reason why, they love this idea of love and light, because if you're mired in love and light, guess what? You are never going to stand up to the controllers of this world. So, this idea of love and light is antithetical to transforming the world. Once again, we use the symbol of Abraxas so much. Abraxas is the synthesis of light and dark, God and Satan, above and beyond these ideas of good and evil. Reason is what prevails over these limited concepts. And so we must not be, light workers. We aren't light workers. We are light and shadow. Again, it's about combining the elements together to reach, if you're denying an entire spectrum of existence by denying that aspect. And so it's really important to realize that if you extend unlimited love to all, that includes hate. And so if you love all, that will breed hatred within your midst. And I want to say we are 100% opposed to mainstream religion. But guess what a lot of New Ageism says? It says accept all religions. Right? New Ageism says accept all religions. And maybe that might sound good on the outset, but if you really examine it with logic and reason, guess what? There's a lot of religions out there, mainstream religion, that promotes hatred, racism, sexism, homophobia, bigotry, all these ideas. So if you are accepting of all religions, that means you're automatically accepting the teachings, and this is completely wrong. Okay? If you are someone who accepts sexism, hatred, and racism, and accepts it, do you see how extending unlimited love actually leads to hate? Because now you are not removing hatred. If you actually love the world, and we love the world as Hyperions, but if you actually love the world, then you will remove hatred from it. If you are not removing hatred from it, then you don't really love the world. That's like there being a sick person and you just are allowing the disease to fester. No, if you love the person, you remove that which is destroying them. You don't just leave it there. Likewise, we need to remove the aspects that are destroying this world. And this is where our righteous fury, our divine anger, our shadow comes into play. And that is necessary for building a better world. We are the creators and the destroyers. If you remove destruction, you're not a true creator. If you want to build a house, you have to destroy the old house that was there. Or else you're going to be building on something faulty and decaying, and your new construction will collapse because of internal rot. So, the internal rot of this world is sexism, homophobia, all these ideas. And these ideas are contained within mainstream religions. So these mainstream religions must be completely altered so that all the hatred in those religions are removed from them. And until those religions do so, it is completely unacceptable. So all these, New Age systems that are all about, the love and the light and accepting everything no matter what, is completely antithetical to world change. 100%. Full stop. And that's critical to remember. And, this idea of sort of like all paths lead up the mountain. No. Some paths lead you into racism and sexism and, the destruction of the world. So, and once again, logic and reason is the cure to this. Again, we are Abraxas. We are the awakening of the great I. And Abraxas is beyond good and evil. As Nietzsche said, we are a revaluation of all values. We are the philosophy of the future that Nietzsche wanted to kickstart. That's who we are. We are the new, the incomparable, those who create themselves, those who impose upon themselves their own law. And by that, we mean we are not subject to moral absolutism. We are not subjected to a 10 commandments that some God in the sky decreed upon us. No. We use logic and reason to discern the most optimal course to create a brilliant divine humanity and a divine earth as the gods of this world, as we truly are. And okay, this other thing that Soshi asked that I wanted to answer says, what do you think about people that say the universe will reward me or the universe will provide? Yes, absolutely. And this is just another idea how New Ageism is just a rehash of mainstream religion. Again, yes, that's exactly what they say. The universe will reward me. The universe will provide. How is that any different than saying, the God will reward me or God will provide? It's the same idea. I can't tell you on my, how many times I see on my feed, double tap this and the universe will give you money. Like, how is that any different from the mainstream religious memes that go, double tap this and show your support for Jesus and he'll give you a miracle or something like that. It's the same idea. So saying believe in the universe and the universe will provide is exactly the same as saying have faith in God and God will provide. It's the same thing. You're just switching out words. It's a new mainstream religion for a new generation, and it's just as dangerous. It's just as dangerous, if not more so, because it's ensnaring new people who would be leaving mainstream religion. It claims to be light, but it is dark. And that is what people really need to understand. Mainstream New Ageism claims to be light, but it is utter darkness. And people who view us as dark, we are the true light. We are the light of logic and reason, who embrace our shadow, guided by reason. And yes, so Soshi is exactly right. This idea of the universe will provide. No. And another thing on that note, this has to go with more idea with in mainstream religion. I'll be praying for you. Well, guess what? Now you have people just going, sending you positive vibes, or I'm going to meditate for world peace. Meditating for world peace and setting positive vibes is just as useless as sending thoughts and prayers. Sending you thoughts and prayers, sending you good vibes. Look, there's nothing wrong with meditation if you want to use it to clear your mind or relax at the end of the day. However, void states are much better. Check out my video on void states. But anyway, but the thing to understand is that, look, sending thoughts and prayers isn't going to change the world, and sitting in your room with your eyes shut thinking about it really hard isn't going to change the world either. What's going to change the world is a transformation of consciousness, and that doesn't mean like, oh, thinking about it super hard. It means literally going out there, spreading information, and doing the work to change the world by making a willful effort, not just sitting there and thinking about it. But people are super lazy, and they would love to think that that's the answer to everyone. So the important thing that I really want people to take away from this is that New Ageism is actually not a system of enlightenment. It's a system of endarkenment. It's not the light. It is darkness. It will stop your evolution. It will limit your power, and it will keep the world enslaved. It is not about truth. It is anti-truth. It is subjectivism and relativism, and hence the opposite of enlightenment. It will keep us and the world enslaved through this idea of love and light and unlimited tolerance, which breeds hatred and rot from within. And it gets you to believe in insane ideas, taking you as far away from truth as you can possibly get. So, really understand that we have nothing to do with New Ageism. We are a completely new system predicated on logic and reason and understanding the truth of reality, creating a new humanity and a new earth. And if you're having a hard time understanding between what's true and what isn't, I'm not here to berate you. Don't worry. Our system is pretty complex. It's extremely complex. So if you're still learning, don't feel bad. We are here to help you. But the important part to remember is just to have the willingness to learn and to understand that there is something to learn, rather to fall into the deadly trap of New Ageism, which is the complete opposite of everything that we stand for. So we love this world, which means that we have the will to remove that which will destroy it. And we are here to create a brilliant new world, which means we embrace the truth, rather than New Age groups who are the enemies of truth. So, just understand this, realize it, and guys, do not fall for the trap and the danger of New Ageism. It's just another mainstream religion. It's just another trap. So use the faculties of logic and reason, and through that, that is how you will elevate your consciousness, and that is how we will change and transform the world.